The day had broken cold and clear over the vast, snow-covered wilderness, a world transformed into a silent, white expanse. Aurora, a dedicated wildlife rescuer with years of experience tracking elusive creatures through nature's harshest elements, tightened her parka and pulled on her sturdy boots. Today, her mission was both urgent and delicate. A lost wolf pup had been reported by a local ranger, and time was running out to reunite the young animal with its pack before the brutal winter claimed another life. The forest was cloaked in a hushed stillness that only deep winter could bring. Every tree stood guarded by branches heavy with glistening frost, and the fresh snowfall left the ground immaculate, except for a series of uncertain small paw prints twisting through the drifts. Aurora's heart quickened as she knelt beside the prints, her experienced eyes scanning the imprints that marked the pup's tentative passage. She knew that, in this unforgiving landscape, every minute mattered. Aurora recalled the story behind the missing pup, a solitary cry heard during a raging blizzard, followed by frantic calls for help. The ranger had described a tiny figure with oversized ears and uncertain eyes, struggling against the elements and separated from its pack during a sudden, furious storm. With this in mind, Aurora felt a growing urgency. The wolf pup's chances of survival diminished with each passing hour in the frozen isolation. Following the delicate tracks, Aurora ventured deeper into the forest. The snow underfoot crunched softly, her footsteps measured and cautious. The forest was both beautiful and daunting. Ancient pines loomed like silent sentinels, while the wind whispered secrets through the conifers. As she moved forward, the footprints became fainter and more sporadic, evidence that the pup was either hiding, moving erratically, or gravely in need of shelter. Every twist in the trail set Aurora's instincts on high alert. She paused at the edge of a small clearing where the snow lay undisturbed, except for a single set of tracks that veered off abruptly. There, half buried beneath a dense drift near a fallen log, she found signs of a struggle. The area was marked by disturbed snow and several small clawed impressions leading toward a thicket of bushes. With careful deliberation, Aurora knelt and brushed aside a tuft of pine needles, revealing a tiny, shivering form nestled as if seeking refuge. It was the pup, frail and emaciated, with fur the color of storm clouds and eyes filled with both fear and longing. For a long, heart-stopping moment, the wolf pup regarded Aurora with wary uncertainty. Its body tensed as if ready to flee at any sign of threat, but Aurora's voice, soft and soothing, broke the silence. "Hey there, little one," she murmured, crouching at his level. She extended a gloved hand slowly, mindful of the pup's fragile state and years of neglect that had etched deep wounds in his trust. "Hey there, little one. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to help." As if answering her quiet plea, the pup inched closer, its trembling body moving with a mixture of instinct and desperation. Aurora gently scooped the pup into her arms. It flinched at first, muscles contracting, but then slowly allowed itself to be cradled in her warmth. The rescue, however, was only the beginning of a delicate journey. Aurora knew that reuniting the pup with its pack was essential for restoring not only its health, but also its sense of identity and belonging. With the pup secure in a makeshift carrier she had meticulously prepared for such emergencies, Aurora retraced her steps through the deep forest snow. The day was drawing toward a soft twilight, and the temperature plummeted even further, intensifying the urgency of her mission. Every step was measured against the biting wind and the heavy drifts that threatened to swallow her footprints. Aurora's thoughts churned like the swirling snow around her. The pup's fragile trust, the wild calls echoing in the distance from an unseen pack, and her own determination to bridge the chasm between isolation and safety. As she trekked further, Aurora recalled her extensive experience in wildlife rescue. She had struggled through storms to save injured hawks, aided lost bears wandering too close to human settlements, and once even helped guide a doe back to its startled fawn. But this rescue was different. Wolves, wild and resilient, lived by bonds that were both fierce and delicate. They survived through a blend of instinct, community, and the rugged environment. For the pup, the pack was everything, a lifeline against the harsh, indifferent forces of winter. She knew the importance of reuniting it with its kin, for the warmth of the pack would kindle hope and spur healing where human care could only reach so far. The forest began to transform subtly as night approached. Moonlight broke through treetops in crystalline shafts, illuminating a path that glittered like broken glass. Aurora's heart lifted when she spotted, in the distance, the faint silhouettes of wolves moving in a formation that suggested a hunt or a patrol. Her pulse quickened with cautious optimism. She moved quietly, guided by the soft rustle of snow beneath her boots, and the gentle breathing of the pup nestled close to her chest inside the carrier. Her intuition told her that the pack was near. As she drew closer, a series of low, mournful howls vibrated through the still air, a sound that spoke of longing, protection, and the eternal call of home. With each step, Aurora felt the distance between the pup and its true family shrinking, a bond woven by nature and nurtured by shared hardship. At last, just beyond a stand of ancient firs, Aurora reached a clearing where the pack had gathered, near a frozen stream. The wolves, sleek and powerful despite the stark chill, regarded her with measured caution. The alpha, a majestic creature with piercing amber eyes, stepped forward. The air was thick with anticipation, every heartbeat syncing with the rhythmic chorus of distant howls. Aurora knelt at the edge of the clearing and unlatched the carrier slowly. The lost pup, still trembling but buoyed by the surge of distant familiar sounds, peered out. In that moment, as if guided by an instinct older than time, the pup stepped away from Aurora's gentle grasp and toward its kin. The alpha wolf approached, his muzzle low and eyes softening, and in a delicate display of acceptance, nuzzled the pup. For long minutes, the clearing held its breath as the pack came together in a silent communion of reunion and renewal. Aurora watched, tears glistening in her eyes, not of sorrow, but of profound relief and quiet triumph. The sight of the pup being wrapped in the protective circle of its pack affirmed every sleepless night and every treacherous step into the deep forest snow. This was a reunion that transcended words, a bond reaffirmed by the raw, relentless forces of nature. In the deep silence of that wild winter evening, as the wolves began to move slowly into the shadows of the forest to hunt and safeguard their kin, Aurora lingered at the clearing's edge. The cold air nipped at her cheeks, but inside she felt a warmth that could only come from knowing she had once again helped restore a piece of the intricate tapestry of life. As she prepared to leave, the alpha wolf approached her slowly. Their eyes met, a silent acknowledgement passing between human and beast. In that mutual glance, Aurora sensed gratitude and respect, a reminder that her work, though fraught with peril and uncertainty, was a bridge connecting divergent worlds. With one last glance at the reunited family, Aurora trudged back through the snow-laden forest, her heart buoyed by the certainty that even in the most relentless winter, hope could be found. Every step, was a silent vow that she would continue to walk the difficult path of rescuing and healing, bringing lost souls back into the fold of nature's unyielding embrace. Every nightfall afterward, as she sat in her modest cabin on the edge of the forest, Aurora would recall the lost pup's transformation, from a fragile creature abandoned to the wild to a brave pup enveloped by the protective warmth of its pack. It was a story of survival, of relentless hope, and above all, of the extraordinary bond between a rescuer and the wilderness she vowed to protect. In the quiet aftermath of that snowy night, as the forest whispered its ancient secrets under a blanket of stars, Aurora knew that her mission was far from over. Still, with every rescued life, every trust rebuilt, the wild world regained a little more of its magic, and in that resilient, frozen heart of nature, hope burned as bright as ever.